Hey, Rambo World Entertainment, and are you ready for some horrible news? And yes, it is horrible, because Hulu is doing a sequel series to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now that'll get Buffy fans excited. It shouldn't, because how many shows have you seen that have been off the air for years and years and years, if not decades at this stage, that have come back and they've always been a letdown? They never are able to recapture the magic that they had when they were on the air. And this will be no different, especially when you start hearing the names attached to this thing already. You just go, oh sweet Jesus. But let's have a look at this. So it says, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot is finally moving forward, and it's happening at Hulu with original star Sarah Michelle Gellar. The details also include that Eternals director Chloe Zhao will direct the pilot episode. Original series creator Joss Whedon is not attached to the project. THR says the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot is from writers Nora and Lilia Zuckerman from Poker Face and Fringe and 20th Century Television, described as the next chapter in the Buffyverse. What is going on with calling all these things verse? It's stupid. The next chapter will focus on a new, younger Slayer, with Sarah Michelle Gellar recurring in the series. As noted, since there is only supposed to be one Slayer in existence at a given time, the final season retconned things by awakening hundreds of potential new Slayers. Deadline adds that a writer's room is also getting put together, which is a good sign for the show, and while it's unknown if the other actors will be returning, the site says that it is considered likely. So they're saying, oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar's coming back, but she's not going to be the focus. It's going to be on this younger version. Question then is, well, how the hell do you call it Buffy the Vampire Slayer then? Or will it be called Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Will this thing come out just being called Vampire Slayer? Because if that's the case, you're losing the name, the brand name of Buffy. If you add in the Buffy, but you're focusing on a younger star, what's the point in calling it Buffy? Saying, oh, she'll have a recurring role, it sounds more like she'd be like the mentor or something, which I suppose makes sense seeing as Sarah Michelle Gellar is 47 years of age at this stage. Do people want this? The fact that Chloe Zhao is directing it. Again, Eternals, a disaster. A disaster. For anyone that's going to jump in and go, it wasn't a disaster. It didn't make money. As much as people want to try and claim it did, it didn't make money. Even Disney's own financial earnings showed that it did not make money. And nobody talks about that movie anymore. Nobody. There's nobody out there going, oh, Eternals was great, wasn't it? And still going on about it. It is also so good and so successful that it doesn't have a sequel and won't be getting a sequel. Even Kevin Feige has said, yeah, we're probably not moving forward with an Eternals 2. Chloe Zhao, bringing her on to do this. Why? Why? She clearly doesn't know how to do this type of stuff. And being that it would still be under Disney, Hulu was owned by Disney, you're probably going to have the same issue that they keep having with these female directors, which is, oh, don't worry, honey, you don't direct the action. We'll do that. You just direct when they sit down and talk. So what's the point in bringing her in? The two writers, no idea who the hell they are. Fringe, never liked. Poker Face, never heard of. At least I don't think I've heard of it. And to name just two things, okay. A writer's room, they think that's a great sign for the show. Is it? It depends who they bring in and how many writers. You could overstuff this where there's just so many writers there and every one of them is thrown in, oh, it's got to be this and we got to do that and blah blah blah. The original cast coming back, why? At this stage, what's the point? Like, how are you going to bring a character like Spike back? Have you seen the guy who played him? Because he doesn't look anything like he did back in the 90s to the early 2000s. He's very much aged. And that's an issue, because how are you supposed to have an immortal vampire show up and be old? old as shit. They're not supposed to age. Now, unless, did he die in the series? I don't remember. I don't know whether he died or not. I was never into Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV series. I liked the movie, the original movie with, what's her name? Kristen something? Is it Kristen Swan or something like that? I can't remember her name. And Luke Perry, or Matthew Perry, Luke Perry. The movie was good. Then they made the series. I thought the series was a bit too, I don't want to say childish, but a bit too more teeny bopper for my liking. You know, I still saw bits and pieces of it. Like, my friends' aunties loved it. So you'd go in there and they was always having the thing on. And I do remember seeing the very last episode when they sunk the entire village into a big hole. But I don't remember whether Spike died or not. But if he didn't and they want to bring him back, you'd have to probably de-age him, and that's just going to run your costs up. I just don't understand what the idea is behind this. This is literally IP mining. That's all this is. It's like, we need something. We need a hit. What do we do? Oh, I know, Buffy. That hasn't been touched in decades. Let's do that. And they're all like, yay. Well, it's going to be stupid. And we know what it's going to be. Like, it's just going to be the biggest pile of identity politics shoved in your face. And when you think of what the show originally was, it was filled with diversity and stuff. But they're just going to take it to that next level. You know they're going to take it to that next level. And that'll be the focus. It won't even be vampires and slaying the vampires. Then when they're saying a newer, younger Slayer, well, how young are we talking about here? Is it going to be a teenager? Are they going to be in their 20s? We don't know. There's no real details. Now, this could be the case if they make this pilot episode and it just doesn't take off. That they take a look at it and go, yeah, no, we're not going forward with this. I really don't know what's going to happen. And from what I'm seeing already from the people who really loved the Buffy series, they're not too keen on it. I'm sure you'll get some that are like, oh yes, cool, bring me back some Buffy. But when you sit down and think about it properly and just look at other TV shows that they've brought back and done this type of thing to, it's never worked. It's always been a letdown. So for the ones who are excited, you know, you might want to wheel that back in a bit. As for everyone else, yeah, they're pretty much not looking forward to it. So we'll wait and see what happens. If this thing even gets off the ground, it probably will. But again, you could end up in that scenario of they do a pilot and they just go, ooh, this sucks. And it goes no further. We'll wait and see. We'll see what more new information comes out when they start talking about it a bit more. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.